what are the platforms where Flutter developers should look and make long-term presence and connections to get hired? What advice would you give to someone watching or listening to this podcast wanting to become a GD? Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Expert Show podcast. Learn from expert, be an expert. So today on the show we have a very special guest who is Kamal Shri ma'am. She is a Google developer expert for Flutter and Dart and having more than 11 plus years of experience in software development. And she has worked in multinational companies not just in India but USA and Netherlands too. She is also a YouTuber, mentor and currently working on building communities. In this podcast, we will be covering everything from experts' take on how to get started with Flutter, how to become a Google developer expert, how to plan your career to advices on preparing for interviews and jobs, and everything. So, now let's begin. Hello Kamal Shri ma'am, I'm so pleased to have you on the show and super excited at the same time.
Thanks, Radhika. Same here. Very happy to be on your show and the first participant to be on your podcast as well. And firstly, congratulations for starting one. It needs a lot of courage to do one, and I really appreciate that you came up with this kind of an activity here. Good luck.
Thank you so much. So you are a very important person in the Flutter community and you have been the inspiration for many. Most people who are into the Flutter would probably know you, but for the purpose of this podcast, I would be glad if you can introduce yourself to the audience.
Definitely. So I'm Kamal. I'm a Google developer expert in Flutter and Dart. So apart from Flutter community, I'm also a part of Women Tech Maker. I do a lot of mentoring. I'm a part of a mentor at Mentor Cruise. And I also have my YouTube channel. That's how my journey into Flutter started. And I'm also into community building and open source contribution. And definitely international talks, which I cannot overlook on it because I love giving talks.
Okay, that was great. So before asking you how you first got started with Flutter, I would like to ask you how you first got started into the coding world.
Coding world, it is a kind of a long story. I started almost a decade back. I used to travel a lot, so I've been outside India, and that's when the real coding actually got into me. So there's this new startup company who wanted to build a software for a rail system. It was in Amsterdam. So that's how my career started into coding. And then after that, I never turned back. And I got to know that this is my world and this is where I can really excel.
Okay, that was really interesting to know. So now coming back to the Flutter thing, what got you started with the Flutter?
That's a really funny story, actually. I was into mobile development, which is Android, where most of us would work or kickstart their mobile development career. So I was working on Android and it was a weekend, I think. Yeah. So I was lined up in a grocery billing section and the machine was actually not working, the card machine. And there was this guy who was standing before me with a lots of thing pipelined in his checkout. So he was turning back and he looking and he said hi and I was like hi. So he asked, are you into software? I said yes, because Indians outside India are most of them into software field. So he said, he asked me, are you into software? I said yes. And then he asked me, what kind of work you do? So I said, I'm into app development. I knew that that person also is into some kind of development, but not app. He was into cloud and something on those bases. So he was asking me, he started asking questions saying, okay, how do you develop apps? Okay, you're doing on Android. So what about iOS? So what about other platforms? How do you support? And that's where I was like, okay, yeah, he asked me so many questions where I couldn't completely answer it. So I just came back home and I kind of did a research. And that is when Flutter Live was going on, the first version. That is Flutter 1.0 in 2019 December. And I just looked at the talk, which most of the people gave from Google, and I was kind of struck, gave it a try, and I said, that's it. I'm not turning back, because I could feel so much of the pain points that we used to go through as an Android developer was kind of getting solved while using Flutter. And it was so easy to use. In a couple of hours, I could really master something in it. So I said, okay, that's it. And that's how my journey in Flutter started.
Wow, that was really awesome. Flutter is amazing because of its cross-platform feature too.
Indeed, definitely.
Yeah. So I have also seen your YouTube channel, WhatsApp Coders, and you have created so many useful coding tutorials for Flutter, and even I have got to learn so much from it.
Yeah, I
Since now
know.
I have got opportunity to directly ask you, so let me put this question up. What was your inspiration behind creating your own YouTube channel?
I think there is something very similar between what you are doing and what I did 2 years back. When I started learning Flutter, I was looking for channels on YouTube and I could find amazing tutorials like Pavan. Pavan was doing amazing tutorials. But then found, okay, I played one tutorial, I could find Pavan, one more, I could find Reese Coder and all that. Everything was fine, but I couldn't find one woman. I said, what's wrong? Is that women not really interested in coding, or is it really tough, or am I missing something? So then I said, okay, fine. If they could start, even they are talented, let's also start and see if we could do something different from what they are doing. And that's how my journey into YouTube started. And I also wanted to make one point while I'm creating videos, just not to share my knowledge. It was to make at the end of the day, okay, if this is the kind of use case, if you see every widget, I'm kind of connecting with the use case. So I wanted to make sure that rather than just imparting theory, there should be some connection between what you're doing daily with the Flutter widgets. So that's how I came up with different UIs, different widgets, and then the history went on with my channel.
Oh, wow, that was a great cause to work for. Actually, I'm also working towards the same thing.
But it is not easy. Trust me, I think it requires a lot of consistency and dedication towards working it. And it's a
Yeah,
huge pain, especially editing videos.
yeah. So I will make sure to put the channel link in the description so you all can check it out. It's a wonderful channel. So now I think I should pick up the best question our audience have been waiting for. So you have been contributing so much to the Flutter community. So can you let us know your journey of becoming a Google developer expert for Flutter and Dart?
Definitely. That's a question that I get asked in most of the forums, my YouTube channel, everywhere. My journey or how I became a Flutter GDE, I would say that if you start contributing and doing something for the community, this tag, you will get it automatically. So, whoever is doing it, don't look for the tag and then do something for the community. Just do for the community, come out with your passion, just do it out of passion, something that you've been liking, and you would get it. Now, how I got it through one of my friend, she's also GDE. She kept on looking at my videos and she said, even I want to make a video like that. I need an advice from you. So that's when I got to really know there's something called GDE. And she said that since you're doing already so much, why don't you get yourself tagged? So that's how my Flutter GDE thing started, the tagging part and getting connected and all that.
Okay, thank you for sharing your journey with us. So since you are a GD, what are the perks you think are of becoming a GD?
Perks. Okay. I think more than the materialistic perks, I think getting connected to people is what I'm looking forward. Because at the end of the day, there is someone whom you can help who was in the same situation as I was. So during my time, I did not have so much of mentorship, communities, and all growing up. So it was a real struggle for a woman to come out and talk like this or do something in the community. But these days, at least you have some kind of nurturing and mentoring happening. So that is what I feel as a perk. Giving back to the community as a GDA is the perk for me. So the rest all falls in place. So yeah.
What advice would you give to someone watching or listening to this podcast wanting to become a GD?
First thing, understand what is your genre. Okay, you are really good at Flutter. If you want to be a Flutter and Dart GD, you're really good at Flutter. That is nothing to be deniable. Next, understand what is your area of expertise, whether it's video or whether it's talk, whether it's blog, whether it's community, fixing bugs, writing documentation, or driving community. Understand where do you fall in these categories. So once you understand that, okay, you're good at making videos, then focus on more of video part. That will be your first thing. Say if you're good at writing articles, then focus only on articles. And then that is the half of the journey. The rest half is to how you promote it. Unless you promote it, you're not going to reach the audience. So find all ways to promote it, whether it could be YouTube or getting into some of the tech talks or joining any of the community talks, podcast. Tell them that there is someone who's really doing it, or approach any of the GDEs and ask them if I'm able to or she able to promote these good contents and review those contents. That way you kind of get guidance, and also the GDE will get to know that, okay, there's this person who's really working hard for Flutter community. So if we find people like that, definitely we would also like to nominate, where we have that perk of doing something. So that's the only suggestion that I would give for someone who's aspiring to become a Flutter GDE.
Okay, so that was very great and realistic advice. So, since the audience must have pumped up at this point, and many might have got introduced to Flutter just now. So, according to you, is Flutter for everyone, or is there any specific situation where a person should be using or considering to move to the Flutter?
Okay, when I started Flutter, keeping my experience in mind, I did not have any purpose or any client that was really looking for Flutter. It was just that I was exploring things and I found this really good. And my journey started and I know what I've created. So similar way, don't look for any outcome and then do something. Just give it a try. See what it is. Do not judge. Do not compare it with other platforms XYZ and find out, because if I have to keep finding faults, I can go on throughout the day doing that, right? So don't do that. Just keep your mind open. Just explore it. See what it is. If you like it, highlight the good part of it. If you don't like it, also highlight the bad parts of it and see what you could do in order to solve it. That is what a positive mindset is, rather than putting something down and then talking about it. So if you ask me, see what fits you best and then start doing it. Do not do it just because someone else is doing something. No, just explore it. Today it might be Flutter, tomorrow it might be another XYZ technology. So you cannot stick to one technology. That is also the beauty of a developer, is to keep on adapting yourself to new technologies, new things, and see how you can come up with more innovative solutions and delight your customer, right? So yeah, today it's Flutter, tomorrow it might be Fuchsia, so you never know. So just keep yourself updated with new technologies.
Okay, great. I hope this would have given more clarity to the people. So what is your take on how a newbie should get started with Flutter?
A newbie, okay. It totally depends from which background he is. Say for hypothetical, if a person is very new to programming, then I would suggest him to go through OOPS concept first, get a good understanding of what architecture is, frameworks are, and then start with Dart and then Flutter. If you're someone who is like into Android and all, definitely you can start with the comparison. We have definitely a lot of official Google documents. I would suggest go with the official Google documents. Once you master halfway through, then you can get into YouTube or other articles to go more into more customization. And if you're an experienced person, just give it a try and see what you can contribute back to the community, because you learning is going to be an expert and it will take a half a day or something, but you giving back to the community actually will add a lot of value to it. So understand, see what kind of category you fall in, and then see how you can start. But I would say official Dart and Flutter document is the Bible. Just go through it. Most of the questions would be answered there. If you're looking for some tweaks, some kind of added spice to the way you're learning, then go for YouTube's blogs and try to expand, understanding different views. That's it.
Okay, so if someone is newbie, then they should first go with the Flutter's document. Okay.
Yes, definitely. Flutter and Dart documents.
Okay. So these were really amazing tips. And now let's talk about the programming language used by Flutter, that's Dart. So how much Dart knowledge you should have to start with Flutter?
I would say before starting Flutter, get yourself well versed with Dart, in and out of it, because that's the backbone of it. Later part all is about widgets, which is like just the tree structure. Even I'm sure even a high school kid would know how to get it. It's kind of a logical experimenting, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So get your dart right, whether it is beginner, intermediate, or advanced, and then play around with Flutter.
Yeah. So like in my case, I was having experience in JavaScript before, so it was very easy for me to pick up that language.
Definitely.
So for the peoples who are coming from different languages or that is going to be their first programming language, then what would be your advice to them?
Uh, there's nothing like advice. Just go through those code lab examples. Just practice them and see the same problem, how different solution you can come up with. Because you already know about few programming languages, so see how different solution you can come up with, how much you can minimize the number of lines of code, how can you reduce the performance. So when you look at these aspects, that's when you stand out different from other developers. What it How does it make a difference when you learn that write print 1 to 10 numbers, everybody can do that. So how are you going to be different from the rest of the people is doing something different, even though you know the basics of Dart. So just start learning it, understand the syntax, then do something little different. Let it be printing a number or printing a particular pattern, anything it could be, and then go ahead with intermediate, advanced. And also, I would suggest people who are learning Dart, do not stop once you get your basics. Oh, I'm good at basics, I'm ready to start with Flutter, and they start with creating a beautiful UI. No, there is something called intermediate and advanced, knowing about streams, async, in and out of it, especially when you come to the point where you need to maintain your quality and performance of your app. It really plays an important role. So get your state management very clear, experiment with it, and then move on with Flutter.
Yeah, yeah. Because Dart is the main means programming language, so for all the functionalities that you have to apply, you should know it very well. So you have to consistently learn it. Means you don't have to stop. If you know basics, then you are complete, means ready to start.
Absolutely.
So since you have been in a long journey and have worked with multinational companies, not just in India, but also abroad like Netherlands and US too. So what would you say to someone who wants to pursue their career in this field?
Okay. Do not follow that everybody is into IT. Don't go with that tagline. See, taste, and then try it. So I always put this GIF in most of my talks. So if you go to an ice cream parlor, say you go to an ice cream parlor and you have like tons of flavors. Now you want to know which flavor you like. You see so many of them. How do you know it? Only after tasting it, right? Only when you do a taste test, okay, your palate is nice, you feel it fine, then you do it, right? Similar way, whether it's cloud or app development or web development or JavaScript front end, back end, anything, data analysis, see if this fits you. If you're fine with it, then move on with it. But also do some research. Spend a week. Talk to a person who's already in this field. What is the career growth? Okay, I join as a Flutter developer. What next? So understand the in and out of it. Will I excel in this field? Do I have to do some kind of certifications? Is there some kind of community building I can do? Okay, what if I don't go in this direction? What is the next step? What is the plan B? So understand all this, draw a roadmap, and then judge whether really you can be in this field. Just because everybody is getting into IT field, do not get one. Because after that, I've seen so many people kind of repenting, okay, coding really sucks and I don't want to do it. It's too much hectic, and they kind of break down, get demotivated, come out of it. So take some time. Instead, take 1 month, 2 month, understand, talk to people. That is what networking really comes in picture. Mentoring comes into picture. Spend some time with people who are already in this field, understand the in and out of it, and then take a call. That is what my suggestion would be. I wouldn't say go for this XYZ platform, this is the best, go for this Flutter, go for Android. No, that is not my suggestion. See what really suits you. You know yourself better than anybody else. So that's the best advice that I can give.
Yeah, yeah, it was really best one only. So whatever you love, you should pursue that only, not you should follow the trend or something.
In experience, I have experienced a lot. So it's totally my experience I'm talking here.
So, what are the platforms where Flutter developers should look and make long-term presence and connections to get hired?
I think platforms wise, first create a GitHub account so that you can start working on issues, because that's a Bible, you know. You look into all the closed issues, all the open issues itself, you get to solve most of your Flutter queries. That's one thing. Second thing, I would say keep yourself active on Twitter, because that's where the community really plays very well. You get to know a lot of people who are doing in Flutter what. That is one side. And the technical part, yes, definitely Stack Overflow and Reddit. These are the two things that you need to be active in order to get few questions answered. So I keep these things active, and LinkedIn sometimes. But yeah, the rest is all falls in place if you are active here. And do subscribe for some of the Flutter newsletters and podcast and tech talks. It really gives you some new insights.
Okay, that was a great recommendation. What are some of the tips that you would give to someone who wants to prepare for the interview for a job?
For a job, okay.
Yeah.
You know what, Radhika, there's an interesting, an interesting difference between when I attended an interview and these days. Initially, it used to be like, are you good at Java? Are you good at Android? Are you good at Python? This is what the kind of questions were. But nowadays, all they ask is, how good are you at open source contribution? How many libraries have you contributed? Can I get your GitHub link? So I would suggest is that the moment you learn a technology is start directly jumping into open source contribution. Blindly jump into it, know the in and out of open source contributions, know what are the libraries, how to create libraries. That is what will fetch you a job as well as make you stand out from the rest of the crowd. That is the only thing that I can say.
Okay, so there's one question that I have been also asked many times. So I'm asking you this, which state management is best to use?
Okay, state management. Okay. I'll tell you what's my favorite at the end, but all are good. Trust me, when I started learning Flutter, what I did was I took a simple counter app, which is that plus and minus. The moment you create a Flutter project, you get the counter app, right? So I created the same app using all the state management. That is provider, block, simple set state, everything I started creating. So I got to know that when to use what. So it totally depends on your project complexity, your project scenario, your requirement, what's the client requirement, what is the future goal of this project. Based on that, you have to decide. So there's nothing wrong, nothing right. If it is a simple counter app, why would I use block? The code of the block itself is more than the functional logic of the counter app, right? So that's where your logical thinking comes. So you decide what is the best. There's nothing wrong in using a provider or even using a Riverpod. It totally depends on your project scenario, and use it and justify yourself as to why you're using it. Because at the end of the day, you're the one going to do it, right? So if someone finds block is good, that means the project is quite suitable for that. So go ahead with that. So if you ask me what's my best, I would go with provider. I have been using it. It's pretty simple, straightforward for most of the project that I'm using, and I've used it. I'm pretty comfortable with. But second best is my block, because when I go to complex app, I'll have to use block, or else I simply stick to set state. That's more than enough to do the logic of the app.
Okay, so means according to the app we are building, we should choose that.
Definitely. That's where the logical thinking comes, because you're not just doing a project, right? You're building something for someone. So you need to think about it.
So now we have came to the end of this talk. So I would like to thank you for taking your time out and sharing with us your insights, knowledge, and experience with everyone. This really means a lot to us.
Thank you so much, Radhika, for having me here, and looking forward for more sessions with you as well. And I just want to give a shout out to everybody. Thank you so much for all the support you've given me on my YouTube channel, Tech Talks, or mentoring, or on the Twitter, or any of the social channels. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions as to how you want to become a GD or you want to be a part of GDE, just ping me on LinkedIn. I think Radhika will leave a link to all my social handles.
Yeah,
So ping me, you're free feel to You're absolutely free to ask me any questions related to Flutter GD or any issues or any concerns. In fact, we want more of GDs coming in, and talented people like you are the best people. So any questions, you can feel free to reach me. Thank you so much, Radhika, once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, everyone, for sticking with us till the end. I tried to cover every important topic that could be valuable and serve as an asset for you. So if you find this video helpful, then make sure to share it with all your tagged friends. And do hit that like button, it really motivates me to make much more quality content for you. And if you have any doubts, suggestions or feedback, then make sure to put it in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed till now, then make sure to hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to come up with amazing content on this channel. And also another amazing episode is coming on the next Monday, so stay tuned. So now I will see you in the next episode. Till then, keep learning, keep growing. Thank you.